Recording in progress.
Ah, it's Booze and BJJ podcast, Sunday edition. I'm not drinking because I just took my medication and I don't want to be loopy. Loopy is bad. We have Wole and Angie with us tonight. Um, how are y'all doing? Angie, how are you doing?
Um,
You doing good?
I've been busy.
Busy?
I'm good. I
Good.
just actually just came in
Mm-hmm.
from outside,
No, good.
and today has been kind of a lot of things happening
Mm-hmm.
at the same time.
Good. So Angie,
I ran a 5K this morning.
you did?
Wow.
Angie went to work?
Yeah, and I got a silver.
Oh,
Nice.
good. Nice.
So
5K.
Mongolian?
Yeah, this
Mongolian
was for
5K?
annual. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, good.
hmm
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
I ran.
go ahead.
Hey, I want to be Angie when I grow up. I want to win at Pans and like run 5Ks and like it's nothing.
I I just wish I could run.
Yeah.
So, Wale, have you been?
I've been good. Yeah. Um, so yeah, finally got promoted to Purple Belt. It has been, how long has it been? It's been 6 years. So I actually took off 2 years from during COVID. So I guess technically it's been 4 years. But yeah, on Wednesday, last week Wednesday, I got promoted by Professor Nakapan.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought,
Yay! Congratulations.
Thanks.
yeah, for some reason
Yeah.
I thought one of the other instructors promoted you.
No, he does all the promotions. So it's actually we have like a white belt testing,
Hmm.
and I always go to white belt testing because they need folks to help with testing the white belts, rolling with them, giving them a hard time and stuff like that. And so at the end, Professor Nakapan, so we usually don't like promote during that time, but he promoted me. Well, they promoted a bunch of white belts to blue, but then they promoted me and two or three other folks to purple.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's funny because during the rolling portion, Professor Nakapan was like, he called me out. He's like, let's roll, and that's like the first time I've ever rolled with him.
Hmm.
And then right afterwards, another instructor rolled with me. And then like soon after that, another instructor rolled with me. So it's like, huh, something's going on. Why are all the instructors rolling with me? Yeah. Yeah. It was
hmm
I gotta say, I got a little misty.
Have you been back to class since you got your promotion?
Not yet, no. But I should be back on, when am I back? Probably back on Wednesday. Yeah.
So, if everybody's experience is somewhat similar roughly, I
Mm.
would say don't be surprised if the blue belts
Yeah.
go after your head a little bit harder. And
So
if
it's funny, like someone after class, I was sitting down and someone comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, there's something on the back of your shirt." And I was like, what is it?" He's like, "Oh, it's a target." Okay, I
yeah,
get it.
also don't be surprised if the brown belts pick it up a little bit on you.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna go get my charger.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, we'll be here. So, but yeah,
Yeah. So it's what's up?
that was my experience. Like all my
Mm,
blue belt buddies came after me like they were instead of it being like a friendly roll, like the first couple of
mm.
months, it was like they were trying to take my head off.
Yeah.
It's like, are we okay? Are you angry at me? Like, do I
What did
owe
I
you
do?
do I owe you money? Like,
Mhm.
what changed? You know, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm in elevated status now, and you feel the need to try to
Yeah.
kill
Like
me.
you think you're hot ass.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you know, honestly, it didn't happen so much with my brown belt friends. There were a
Mhm.
couple who picked it up a little bit harder. Like they started doing more leg
When
attack.
you turned brow belt? Oh.
No, when I turned purple belt.
Oh, okay. You're saying with the brow. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so a couple of them started more leg attacks on me. You know,
Mm,
everybody knows my knees are bad, so they were very polite about it. But that was something that they never did before, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
okay, I see
It
what's
was
going on.
weird. The other day, like, after I got promoted, I had a dream I was either at a tournament or I was rolling with someone and I pulled off a knee bar. I was like, oh, I don't really attack legs or anything, but
Hmm.
I should. I think that's the universe telling me that I need to pick up those skills.
So, um, I'm planning on hosting like a leg lock, like a mini leg lock seminar in April,
Hmm.
soon-ish, within the next couple of weeks. You should probably, if you could come, you should come.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but it's so now I kind of have to make sure I know my stuff and start kind of chaining combinations together, learning new things, that sort of thing.
yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
just, especially in no-gi, once people figure out that you're purple and above,
Mm.
people will start going for knee bars.
Hmm.
Like the higher level guys will start like gently heel hooking you.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't happen too often, but you know, things will definitely pick up for you.
Yeah.
So,
And I also got my blue belt in judo, so it's
oh, good.
yeah.
Yay.
Yeah,
That's a big, accomplishment.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because,
it's weird.
it's been a long time. And then now, like, you get a new belt and you get a new motivation to learn. And so, like,
Yeah. Yeah,
after being on a blue belt for a while, you'll be like a little bit, like that pace of learning or
yeah.
just kind of that, you're going to pick up the pace of learning now because you're now purple belt and you have to
Yeah,
live
yeah,
up
that's
to your
true.
purple belt level.
Yeah, because I mean, for like you were saying, as a blue belt, I was kind of doing the same thing, not really picking up a lot of
Mhm.
stuff. But when I got my purple, I was like, you know what, I really need to, kind of formalize my learning and make sure that I'm actually, progressing. Yeah, because I don't want to be like a brown belt that only knows blue and below skills.
Hey, if you're super
Mhm.
good at them, you know, that
Yeah.
counts.
Yeah,
Who was it?
but
I think it was Master Sugi's father who said, "Learn three things and get really good at them."
Mm.
Was that Master Sugi or was that Master Sugi's father? One of the two. But
Yeah, I
Mhm.
agree with that. I think
And teach that.
say again?
teach.
You learn something and you teach back to three people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's kind of
true.
like medical thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, get good at certain things, but I think also I just kind of have this need that I need to learn things, even if I'm not necessarily going to always use it, but just I feel like I should have the mentality that of being open to learning new things, right?
Hmm. Well, I mean, it's just like judo. I can't really do it anymore, but I can teach
Mm.
it. You know,
Yeah.
uh, there's some throws that I can't do. Like
Mm.
what is it? The outer inner the inner leg reaps. I forget what they're
Ko
called.
Ochi.
Kouchi. Yeah, yeah. Those even just
No,
teaching
no,
those
no.
is too.
Kochi.
Yeah, Kouchi. Uh,
Yeah.
it's too much for my knees.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Can you do like um what's it called? Ogoshi? Hip
the
toss?
hip toss. Yeah,
Hip throw? Yeah.
I can demonstrate it, but
Mhm.
live, like, no, it's too much of a risk.
Drop Sainage.
Mhm.
Knees hitting the mat? No. Mm-mm.
I mean, or if you're like um John Wick, the knees hitting the concrete. I
Yeah,
watched
no.
John Wick 4. It's a lot of action.
Is it?
Good stuff. Yeah.
But that's what I like.
Yeah. It's great. It's good.
But
A lot of throws in there too.
so how do you envision things going for you now that you've attained purple belthood? Obviously, you need a
Um,
purple suit and a purple cane.
yes, I do. I need a purple gi. That's what I need. I mean, I think it's, you know, like I was saying, I really do need to make sure that I know my stuff. So I think it's going to be a lot of learning, and I need to make a lot more effort to go to open mats to
Hmm.
drill stuff so that, my technique is on point. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to, also, I would probably suggest rolling with every brown and black belt you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
So I think a pitfall a lot of people kind of get into is they'll only roll with, blue and white belts. But
Mhm.
you need somebody to push you. You need somebody to challenge you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there are certain things that I know I are my go-to, and I need to sort of get out of that, um, kind of get out of that comfort zone of always going to my go-to for certain passes and certain submissions and things like that.
mhm. Yeah, you need to roll with everybody differently.
Yeah.
Like the way that I roll with you is different from the way I roll with Angie.
Mm.
Because if I roll with Angie the way I roll with you, that would just be not good.
Mhm.
Because
And
Angie,
Angie would get mad at you and crush you.
yeah, as well as everybody else in our gym.
Yeah, I have a whole backup.
Yeah, I mean, our backup squad is the same group of people, but if I ever hurt Angie,
Yeah.
I would not be able to step foot in that gym again for a while. So,
Mhm.
but anyways,
Play one.
yeah. So Angie, tell us about your medals.
Um, which one? I'm just kidding. That's the no, I'm just kidding. Um, so in March we went to Pan America, Jiu-Jitsu, IBJJF Jiu-Jitsu Championship, and um, from our team, like it was 11 of us from Chantilly MMA that competed.
Hmm.
Um, and we brought back uh, two gold, two silver,
Nice.
and one bronze.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, very good performance. And then we had a couple of athletes who were very close to getting medals, and like three of them. But you know how it is with competition, like anything can happen, and a little bit of mistakes can like
Yeah.
be detrimental. So, and so, but yeah, I did Masters one and blue belt featherweight, and I had four matches. I had won three of them, and all three of them I had did passing guard,
Hmm.
uh, passing guard, and then scoring, and then I won all of them. And then on my finals match, I went against this girl. She pulled guard, and she's very good at lasso guard. And I actually watched her videos,
Hmm.
and so I was preparing my lasso, and I was defending lasso very well. And then she switched to warm guard, which I just like started to like dig into a little bit. And so I didn't know like a lot about it, until now. Like I'm now digging into it. Um, so she used the warm guard and then like swept me right onto mount. And then from that, I was able to escape to half guard. And but her top pressure was really good.
Hmm.
And then the time was over pretty much.
Ah.
So it was close. but the girl was ranking number one, and I was looking at her records from IBJJF. She had like 500 points, like competing a lot and stuff. And I was ranking number two, but my point was like 12.
Uh,
So obviously, like that much experience and that much of competing, you get really good at, if you know what you're good at, like she's really good at lasso and worm guard. So I was watching all of her matches were pretty much like sweep from that. So she got really good at it. And she actually went on to the open class and won that division as well. So it's pretty impressive. She was really good. Jiu-jitsu, like she has really good jiu-jitsu. So my defeat was kind of like because she was really good opponent and she had good jiu-jitsu, she used good technique, and that was it. So for me, my three wins also same thing. Like I used good techniques and I used different techniques. Um, and so I trusted my techniques, and that what really matters in competition is if you like good at something and then doing that and then good techniques, then it leads you to wins. And so it's like there are other things like matters, but if you're confident in your techniques, you'll do well. That's why like little precision, like in techniques, like really matters. Like I think that Wole is now like purple belt, like that little details that really matters. Like now we blue belt like learning like all this like warm guard and whatever guard and passing drills and stuff. But like when you find that little tiny detail, like that kind of like change the whole game. So I think like you said, like you're gonna be start drilling and stuff. That like finding that little details, learning that from like higher belts will like really make a big difference. So
Yeah.
yeah,
like you have to know,
yeah.
like
So
mhm,
one thing for both of you is that, obviously as you start like getting more experience and you start going against more experienced people,
mhm,
jiu-jitsu becomes a game of inches. So you're
mhm,
working for an advancement instead of seeing in the beginning belts, in my opinion, you'll see like larger advancements. You do a technique A to B and you might be able to move, 6 or 7 inches into a knee slide before you can finish it. But as you get higher ranked, like that that
excuse
advancement,
me.
no problem. That advancement is going to get smaller. So like when me and Master Sugi roll, like even though he's way faster than me, like when we get into a point where he's trying something and I'm defending, it's inch by inch by inch by inch, and then he gets it. You know, versus when I first started fresh white belt, it wasn't even inch by inch. It was just I'm doing this, I just did it,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there going, what happened? You know, like there's a brown belt in our gym, Anthony. I had a really good 10-minute roll with him yesterday at open mat, and it was just inches, But you try something, he counters it. You try something else, he counters it. You try something, you get an inch, and then he figures something, and then he adjusts, and that's the name of the game. You know,
Mhm,
at that point, I think it becomes mental because you both are
mhm,
around the same skill set, the same knowledge base. It's just trying to find a chink in the armor.
Yeah.
So
mhm.
yeah, that's the beauty
I
of
think you
jiu-jitsu.
two are like perfect match, good training partners.
Who? Me and Anthony? Me and
Hmm.
Anthony? Yeah. I just wish
Yeah.
I I just wish I wish I was like 12 years younger. Cause
Don't we all?
yeah, cause I think I'm
He is
probably
12 years younger than you.
I think he's 14 years younger than me. Or 12, it's like 12 or 14, something crazy
Oh.
like that. Yeah. But I can feel it though.
Hmm.
Like it's not necessarily his technique. There's like a little bit of something in there that I can't quite keep up with the whole time. But yeah. But again, like
Mhm.
our roll yesterday, he was trying to knee slide. He had the underhook. He was driving his head into my chin. But I got his lapel wrapped around his leg that was doing the knee slide, and I kept him from doing it
Mhm.
until I spun out, tried a
Mhm.
triangle choke on him, which didn't work. And then
Mhm.
I forget what happened from there. Oh, he was trying to do a weave pass on me. I turned that into a lasso, let him pass, and I swept him over. I didn't think it was going to work, but it worked.
Uh-huh.
But
I
yeah,
was
Mhm.
huh?
I'll say I was rolling with someone the other day, and I think they accidentally got my gi top was open, and I think that I was sitting in open guard, and they came in to try and pass my guard. I think their foot accidentally stepped on my lapel, not on the bottom of my gi top,
Hmm.
and it just like completely stopped me from from preventing them passing my guard. And I asked him, I was like, did you do that on purpose? He's like, no, but I'm just seeing where it goes.
Hmm.
So it's just funny because it's just like something unexpected, you know.
Yeah, I definitely did not think um, that lasso sweep was going to work on him. But again, details. Because if I would have kept the lasso, my leg positioning how I normally play it, I would not have been able to sweep him. I actually used a detail that I saw at Pentagon, of all places, to finish the sweep. But then I realized after watching Master Sugi do it, he does that little detail too. But sometimes people forget to point out the small things when they
Yeah.
teach a lot. So it was fun. And
Yeah, I think.
oh, go
Mhm.
ahead. Sorry. No, not
Oh no,
important.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Not important. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think, that's another thing that I'm gonna kind of focus on is look for those small details and try to figure them out.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like Angie,
Yeah.
I was watching Master Sugi roll yesterday, and I've been playing around with this grip
Mhm.
where it's a cross grip. You grab the sleeve on the opposite side and pull it,
Mhm.
and then your other hand grabs the material um, right underneath their armpit. And I've been playing with that grip,
Mhm.
and I was watching Master Sugi roll yesterday, and he was playing like his open guard game, but then he got that grip. So I
Mhm.
was like, wait a second, does does he use that grip too? Like, so
Did he pick it up from you?
I don't think so. Like he was doing it slightly differently than how my grips are.
You should have said, "Bro, you stole my grip. You stole
But
my grips."
I was watching him roll, and he did it like 2 or 3 more times. I was like, okay, maybe he's been playing this the whole time, and I just never noticed.
Or
But
maybe it's one of those things he's just sort of, you know,
common
picked up.
sense.
Well, maybe you just kind of picked it up from just being around him and not didn't really recognize it.
Yeah, I mean that could be
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So it's like a gi version of the Russian
Or he
tie.
could have just picked it up from you.
Ah,
True.
I I don't think I don't think I've been playing it at
But
Chantilly recently.
Give yourself credit.
Nah.
I but I yesterday I was watching the videos that I posted,
Mhm.
him and Yana rolling,
Mhm.
and like the way he rolls is like he already knows the move that you know Yana is doing, or like your like other
Mhm.
person he's rolling with, and then he just like, oh, really hit it this, like he just gets it, and like it was kind of impressive because like he knows, and then he
Mm,
knows where the other person is gonna go already, so he already has an answer. He always have an answer. He's always
yeah.
like
He
ahead of you. So I
Mm,
mean, obviously you're like black belt and
yeah.
stuff, so you have
There
to be.
there like sometimes I know what someone's gonna do and I'm either too slow to defend it or,
Mhm.
yeah, usually I'm too slow to defend it. But
React
like
to it.
sometimes I know, and then I need to start working on, okay, how am I gonna counter what they're going? because it's either I'm too slow to defend it or I'm too
Yeah.
focused on what I'm trying to do to have an answer for what they have, you know.
Mhm.
Well, the funny thing is about Master Sugi and Yana rolling is I think Yana, out of everybody that we've trained with, um, rolls the most similar to Master Sugi than the rest of us. So when they roll,
Mm.
it's like watching, like
Two masters to you rolling.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna say something like you know, a man rolling with his shadow, I guess. But I mean, honestly, one of the first times that Yana went to Grindhouse, like somebody asked me if she trained with Sugi, and I was like, "Well, how'd you guess that?" And I looked over, she wasn't wearing anything with our gym's logo or anything. And he was like, "Oh, well, he moves like she does."
Mm.
And I was like, "You can tell that?" It's like
Mhm.
it does, and it made me think like, does each individual like black belt move in a
Mm.
very distinct way from each other? And I think that might be the case because
Mm.
I went back and looked at some pictures, and I found pictures of me, Yana, Master Sugi, and like one or two other people that we used to train with, and we all have like this guard pass positioning that's almost identical. It's like just for a brief
Mhm.
second, and we're
Yeah.
all like doing the same thing. It
I
was
wonder
actually
if
pretty fun.
that's something that you just kind of pick up naturally, or if it's like because I don't think you kind of consciously say, I'm going to, yeah, emulate myself after my instructor. I mean,
So
sometimes, but I think it's more so a natural thing that you pick up from being around them and
I
from their instruction.
so I think it is because my oldest son, as I've been watching him the last couple of weeks, moves exactly like Master Sugi does. Like it's a little creepy, but I was just watching him, go at it with a couple of the kids, like the bigger kids especially, and it's like Piccolo and Gohan. Theo latches onto him, takes him down, and then he's like a spider, transitioning from here to there to your back, and then
Mm.
chokes you out. And I'm like, that's what's up. But damn it, he doesn't move like me at all. I was like, where's that slow?
I like that you're bringing him to adult class
Hmm.
because I can see him. He's watching, like learning.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what I
Um.
mean? And anyways,
Yeah, he's got like.
I was gonna
Oh
say, huh?
no, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say on that, add on to that um Master Sui taught us like chair sit opening guard,
Hmm.
and I used that technique like three of my matches, and two of them worked, and one of them like I did one open class match, and my rappel was over, so I kind of like um tripped on that a little bit, but it was like I opened the guard, but I kind of tripped, and then she reguarded it. So it like works, and then we're learning these techniques from him. So like I'm doing the exact same thing that he's teaching me, and then also like my passing guard is like all pressure, right? Like I'm not giving
Yeah.
any inches, so all my passes like very tight, and like when you roll with Master Sugi, you just feel that
Yeah.
pressure all the time,
Yeah.
and so like, oh, I have to like use this pressure over here and there, so like my rolling is like really like high pressure, like going, like going forward, like beating
Yeah.
inch by
Yeah.
inch, and you can see it in my matches, like, okay, this didn't work, so I'm going this way, and then like, and I'm kind of I'm happy about my result because like compared to last year, like my game, like my techniques improved, and he actually complimented me, like, the way
Nice.
I'm sitting and my technique is, much better. And then also like he's like used to use one or two techniques to pass guard. Now you're using like multiple ones to like pass guard. So that was a really great compliment. So, and then it shows, right? Like, it's not easy to get a medal. And this is my third year Pan American like competition, and I got medals in all three. I have like all the colors, so I know what it feels like to lose. Now I know what it feels like to win. So like I know mentally like how I need to prepare. And so like last 3 years it's been like lots of learning, like also like my mentally, like how am I, preparing mentally and during the fight, right? Like what you're thinking is the way I'm thinking in my match is like just doing the techniques, not like thinking about other things.
Did he compliment you in Mongolian or English?
I don't remember. I think it's Mongolian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly like when we're talking, I was speaking Mongolian.
That's like an extra compliment then. Yeah. I would say
no, he's not gonna say, oh, when I come out like, oh, good job, just do like, this is working, like this is not working, and he tells me right away as soon as like my each match finished. And as soon like any matches that I do, like when he's coaching, he coaches right there and there, like, oh, you did this right, you did this wrong, that's why you didn't do this, and you should have done this, and then like he corrects me right away. And that's where I learn a lot of things. And when I like record it and then watch it later, like he's usually like screaming, do this and that, and like during my match. And then like I know, oh, during this time he was saying I should do this. And then, and on the match, you're not listening everything. But whenever I'm listening to him, like it's always usually like right. And sometimes it takes time to get to that position. But yeah, usually way he's directing is usually the right way to go forward. And then he always leads me to good places. So like, I really like how he coaches, during competition.
Yeah, I would say like thinking back, two things that I think I consciously picked up from Masasugi are like pressure passing. Like you definitely using a lot of pressure, and I still do that till today. And also, essentially pressure in both times, like pressure on the ground and also pressure in people when they're up. Like don't give them any chance to come for you, break off grips immediately, and just constantly keep the pressure on them. Foot sweeps, that doesn't work. Switch to something else, that doesn't work. Just keep on, going at them.
Hey guys, go ahead and continue the conversation. I gotta go AFK for 2 minutes. I gotta handle something real quick. Be right back.
Yeah. So yeah, and go ahead.
I was saying, so how does this? You say you've done it 3 times. How do they all compare going to Pans?
So first time I did Pan in 2022, where I was white belt, and I had 3 matches, and I won all 3 of them by passing guard, and I got gold. And at that time, I didn't even know I was going to get gold. Like I just went out there to compete, so there was not a lot of like stress for me to like, oh, what if I lose? But at the same time, like before the competition, I was like competing about every 2-3 months with Master Studio. And then as I was competing, I was picking up like, oh, this is what I should do. Okay. Like I was learning a lot from competition, like, oh, this is what I have to do. So when I got to Pans, I already had a lot of experience competing. And so like one of the things that helped me win my last finals match was because I was in the triangle position and I was able to get out. And in that time, it was like, don't give up, my team is yelling. And then I was like, oh no, I'm not giving up. And then I kept like fighting. And then Um, and then I won that match, and that like persistence really like helped me win that. And then last year when I got my blue belt, that first pen, like on the podium, and that was my like happy moment. And so last year when I did blue belt, I got bronze medal, and I was close to getting like I was winning my silver match, and I lost in the last 30 seconds.
Mm.
And the reason why I lost was it was all mental because during the match I was winning by like 4-0 or 6-0. And like I looked at the time, it was like I think a minute and a half left. And I was like, oh damn, how am I gonna spend this time? Right? Like
Yeah.
I would kind of like that talk, like, oh, how am I gonna spend like it felt really long. And even though I was winning, like I already felt defeat, like, you know, this is a long time. And then like I was probably already tired. And in the last 30 seconds, she got me in like triangle and then swept me over top triangle position and then into an arm bar. So that was like a really gave me the like mentally, right? Like if you just think a little bit of doubt or like just 1-2 seconds of like hesitation, it can like lead to loss. So that was a big lesson for me. And then but that gave me a hope because it was only a year of training for with my blue belt. And obviously she had a little more experience. And then I was like, oh, I was really close to like getting silver medal. So like I can just, you know, keep working and improving. And I was actually happy I landed in bronze because last year I had a knee injury, and then I took off like 2 months and then only prepared like a month before Pens. And then like actually I got medal was like I was like happy about that because you know that's I went out there like not expecting anything like my first one. And then but this year I yeah, so but this year I knew like I competed a lot again, and I had like worked more on my techniques. Like, and then I already know like people know that I'm good at like takedowns, so I already know like most of the people will pull guard. So I just mostly focused on like passing guard, like more passing guard, like making it better. But like but like as I'm going through, like my bottom game is still like it's actually not bad. I just don't use it because I know that most people are gonna pull guard, and then I know that my passing guard is getting good. So like I just want to play that game during this span.
Yeah.
And then I expected that, you know, like okay, um, I expected I would do well because I've been working hard, like spending a lot of time, just not just at Chinchilla MMA, but because of my travel nursing position, I was in different gyms, and then I actually was like visiting different gyms in the DC area, like Lloyd Irvin, Silverback, you know, like whatever open mat, and then actually Caucasians, you know, women's open mat. And that actually really helps because like I get to roll with women more. And so it was like I was doing my base work in Chantilly MMA, but I was picking up things in other places. And so I knew like I'm getting better. Like, and so I expected I would do better. And then I just like, okay, I'm like my goal was to get gold. But also yeah, but I got silver, but I deserved that silver because the girl was good and the loss was real, you know. And mm, and also last year World Masters, I had won 2 matches and lost on my third one, and I gave up on that like too early because of like I didn't know the technique well. So yeah. So anyways, like every time I compete, like I am learning more about myself, like what to think during competition, like having more like athlete mindset, like competitive mindset, and then yeah. So I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm proud of how much I have accomplished so far because like 3 years of jiu-jitsu and then like getting medals every time. I think all my competitions that I did, I don't have a competition that I haven't. Well, I actually do. I have a couple competitions that I haven't gotten a medal, but yeah. But yeah, I think I am naturally really good at like picking up things quickly, and then I have like good sense of body knowledge, like where my body is. Like I'm always like present in my moment, and then um, so I'm picking up really quickly, and but at the same time, like I work on it, right? I spend time training, and so I'm getting better because of that, like persistent training.
Yeah, I definitely want to sort of get into the mindset of more of the mental jujitsu, like understanding my body movement more, understanding the other person's body movement, understanding where they're going so I can meet them there before they get to the point that they're going to. Yeah, because I mean, I think just so far I've just kind of been, okay, I'm going to just use this technique because I know this technique, as opposed to, what is the best technique to counter whatever they're, doing. So kind of more philosophical.
Also,
Tiger.
yeah, yeah. I think it's all very mental. Like you have to think ahead and then expect like what the other person's going to do, and then also have like setting up traps. And um, I was gonna say on that, like if you know like good fundamentals jujitsu, like the basic movements, basic stance, right? Like basic sitting, basic just top or bottom position, like always keeping your knees and elbows together and stuff, something like that. And like if you keep that position in any situation, you're kind of like safe. Um, so I'm more focusing on that, like more focusing on like how my body, keeping my body in a position where it's not susceptible to like armbar or triangle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, it's, for me, it's looking at it more as principles versus technique. So things like, for example, keeping in my head,
the principles.
yeah,
Right?
like keeping in my head, like don't have your back on the mat, always be on your side. Don't, don't turn away from your opponent. Yeah, connect your elbow and your knee together, that sort of thing. So I think those would really help because those are kind of the fundamentals that you build upon when you're learning technique. Because you can learn technique all you want, but if you slip up on the fundamentals, like, oh, your back's on the mat now, then bad things can happen.
There's a lot of simple things that people don't seem to learn right away, and people learn them at different points. Like, for example, playing half guard. A lot of new folks, even though you tell them when you play half guard, just be on your side. Have one shoulder on the mat, the other shoulder pointing at the ceiling. No matter how many times you tell somebody that, there's folks who will pick that up and understand it immediately, and there's others that they'll figure it out 2, 3, 4 years later.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
think Yeah, sorry. I was gonna say, I think,
Mhm.
that's a good point, and I think it's one of those things where, you have to experience the, you're like in half guard, like you're saying, if you constantly have your back on the mat, then you're gonna just get smashed and passed. But once you experience and understand why you need to have, be on your side, then I think people get it. Because I think a lot of times it's not explained why, it's just like, yeah, you have to be on your side. But then you need to ask the question like, okay, why is that?
Yeah. And I think that's I think that's sometimes that's an instructor issue because a lot of instructors have been doing things for
Mm,
so long that they automatically assume people understand why something is done a specific way.
mm,
Like I caught myself doing that on Friday. I taught something from half guard. I said, "All right, everybody, make sure that you're on your side." I didn't explain why because I assumed everybody in the class knew why.
yeah.
But when people started asking questions and saying, "Hey, this didn't work for
Mhm.
me," and I say, "All right, show me what you're doing," and then they have the guy in half guard, but they're flat on their back. It's like
You know
Mhm.
what helps with that?
that doesn't.
Teaching kids.
I well,
Yeah, like,
yeah.
yeah, like, because with my daughter, when I'm teaching her stuff, I tend to over explain things just because I in my mind, she's newer to jujitsu than, for example, like an adult white belt, right? So I tend to over
Mhm.
explain things, and that kind of
Yeah,
leads into the why you do things the certain way.
So real quick,
mm,
uh, um,
yeah. I think
an attendee of my Friday class responded in chat, and he said, "We ask questions to get extra break time."
No more questions. Answer no more questions.
No more questions for you. But but yeah, there's little details,
Yeah.
just you have to look for them if you're watching and if you're teaching, you got to remember to point them out.
I mean, there's still stuff now that, literally probably like a couple of months ago, one of the instructors taught me something about like smash passing. And it was literally just a repositioning of my hips. And I was just like, dude, I've been doing jujitsu for, I don't know for how
and
long now. And I
that
never knew that. Yeah. And that's what I love about it. It's just like, you learn that one little detail and it completely changes your game.
So, um,
mhm.
I had a point, but I
That
forgot.
little detail is the key.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I had a point, but I totally forgot what it was. Just slipped my mind like rain on a Tuesday morning. No. Um, it had to do with techniques. I don't remember.
Mm,
Anyways, but it's actually, oh, I remember what it is. A good experiment that I tell people to do is find a
mm,
technique video that you watched when you first started and
mm,
then watch it now and see if there's anything technique wise that the instructor in the video didn't point out and that you didn't realize when you first watched
mm,
it. I keep a little bit of
Mhm.
a journal with links to videos that I found useful, and I've been going back and watching them, and there's my perception is totally different now. I'm seeing little details that I didn't notice before that make a night and day difference, and the instructor didn't point them out. But it's like
mm.
little things, very little things. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, I started
but
keeping a physical journal too. So after class, trying to fill that out.
well, good.
Having a little bit,
Huh? What's wrong, Angie?
right?
Wait.
I couldn't hear anything Wally said.
Oh,
Oh, I was saying I'm keeping a journal, a physical journal, So after classes, I try to
Mhm.
kind of write down the important points. Obviously, not like step by step stuff, but just kind of the important points, and you know, hopefully help me remember. And then backing it up with videos if I can find videos of the technique.
Yeah, something else that also helps me, and I'm just overly
Mhm.
artistic, and I went to art school for a little bit, is I'll actually try to draw
Mm,
like the beginning
yeah,
and end position of a technique, like just a rough sketch.
Mm.
That helps me sometimes.
there's a.
You
Let me
know,
see if I can find it.
That's a little bit much.
you know what helps me?
Hmm.
Mm,
I think actually watching black belts
mm,
competition.
Yeah, yeah,
You
absolutely.
watch it and then you're like, ooh, like, this is what that's really helped me. Like first Pan America, I watched the black belt ladies fight,
mm,
and I was like, oh yeah, this is where I have to do like, oh my technique level should be at that level, you know, and that's where like you get a good like kind of like what is it called like lead. I mean you follow like do what they're doing technique wise. You obviously they're doing something that like when you're watching them, they're usually like very technique really heavy when they're
mm.
competing, and so like oh he did this one and then she did this one, she prevented this one, and like you actually like now I start to like understand like that, which kind of like makes it more fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Mhm.
I
Sorry,
no, like I
you
have.
were gonna say something wrong.
Oh,
Oh
go ahead.
no, sorry. I'm trying to find. There's an Instagram page I'm trying to find that has like techniques, and the person has drawn all of them out. So don't mind me. I'm gonna look for it, and then I'll put it in the chat.
So just a warning. It is almost that time to say goodbye. So we can go on for like 2, 3 more minutes, and then we need to wrap up.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah,
since it's Sunday night.
yeah, it's been kind of long. But it was good podcast, I think.
Hmm. We also need to make fun of Ank because he's a troll.
Is he the one
I
who
want to say that um
did good?
no, I was just gonna say like oh,
Hmm? I knocked over my router. Go ahead,
I
Angie.
was just gonna say that like even if you like not winning competitions or you winning some and losing some, like you just keep going because I think main thing is like you just learn about more about like your technique, about what you did best and what you did not do well, and then reason for your loss, and then that kind of helps you see your technique wise what to improve, and that's the main reason I compete, and it helps me like mentally, and then it gives me a motivation to train more. So I encourage people like try competing.
Good. Except for Ank. Ank
Hmm?
is Ank is coming to ADCC with me. But other than that,
Oh yeah.
yeah, maybe.
When is which one are you going to?
The one in October.
Oh, in Las Vegas?
Is that one in Las Vegas? I
Or is it in Jersey?
thought it was in Jersey again.
Um, okay, it's good. I think he needs to pick up the pace though. He is not. I think we need to remind him before, like now, probably say it's way more aggressive than how he rolls right now.
He said
You
the
know
one
what I
in
mean?
yeah. Nah, he'll get it. We got
Hmm.
like 7 months, so all right.
Yeah.
It's about that time. So final thoughts, Angie.
I think I just said mine a little bit ago,
Okay.
but um, Here's my medal.
Nice.
24. So that's it. That's my final thought.
She's getting a nice
Con-
collection of those. Wale, go ahead.
Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
I gotta find something to put my belts up and my medals up. So maybe put it back here.
Mhm.
I guess my final thoughts.
Mhm.
I'm kind of want to change my mentality now that I'm a purple belt. Be more sort of mental about my jiu-jitsu game. Pick up new techniques. Definitely more drilling, so I can really hone in my techniques.
Mhm.
And more competitions. I missed Pans this year because life got in the way. I was laid off, so that was like it's like right around Pans, so I was like I can't go. So next year, definitely I'm looking forward to doing Pans. But in the meantime, I'm gonna do some more local stuff, and also IBJJF. It's coming back to Virginia in June, I think June 20th. So definitely aiming for that one too.
Good.
And I had to
Yes.
go, but I actually had the PBJJF competition in, I think it's in one I signed up for is in May. And I signed up as literally like 2 days before I got promoted. I signed up as a blue belt, and it's like, I gotta go back and change it to purple belt.
Well, good.
But yeah, I mean, I've been rolling against purple belts, so I don't think it'll be much different.
Yeah. I also think you're a bit bigger than me now still. How much are you walking around at? Wait.
210.
Yeah. I weighed at 198 earlier.
Mm.
So, but anyways, well, that was good. I will, we can do this again next weekend. Sorry we haven't been able to do it, regularly as of recently. There's been a lot of things going on. I had a health issue. My kids are trying to kill me. The usual. So, if anything, we'll
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm like too dehydrated to drink tonight. I don't want to get stuck cramping tomorrow.
Oh, well, I didn't drink
So
tonight. I had a Coke Zero, so it's all
We
good.
yeah,
may have
this
to.
is a rehydration, not a
Yeah.
nothing alcoholic here.
There's nothing
We may have
wrong.
to change it to no alcohol and BJJ because I'm
Actually,
drinking water today.
that could be our Sunday edition.
Yeah, the Lord's Day.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Hydration.
Sunday edition for no alcohol. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hydration
Hydration
Sundays.
Sunday.
Yeah. So I think next weekend we might have to do the Sunday edition again. Come to think of it, but I'll keep everybody
Yeah,
posted. All right.
Friday night if you do it, will be hammered.
There we go.
If we're gonna do a Friday night edition, we might as well just all meet up at a bar. I'll just have my cell
True.
phone
Yeah.
on a little stand, be like, "Everybody in the club get tipsy." No, sorry. Okay.
Mhm.
Well,
We definitely should have, you know, like a meetup somewhere
like a
where
drunken
we
open
do.
mat.
Not open, just like
Together,
this
actually.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Let's do that at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we have to find somewhere quiet, though, not a club.
Oh, we could go to a.
Or we can...
You can get a private room at Korean restaurants, can't you?
You
Maybe.
can
I
come
thought
to
you
my
could.
office.
Your office? Where's your office?
It's actually right across Chantilly May next to Costco.
Oh,
Can we bring maps?
Yeah, it's usually nobody at nighttime. And there's a nice meeting room and set up stuff.
okay. Yeah, we can plan that. We'll see how it goes. And then we can beat each other up. Anyways, all right, we gotta go. See y'all later.
All
All
right.
right. See ya.
I just
All right.
do jazz
Have a good
hands.
week.
You did jazz hands, yes.
See y'all later.